Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Big Bala Brands podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in wherever you are in the world. Always appreciate you guys being on here, whether you're listening to me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, or YouTube. Thank you guys. Occasionally, I get into a free flow when I'm coming up with different ideas or things I want to talk about on this podcast, on this channel. And I will literally voice record myself and see that you could say the insights, or perspective, whatever magic is going on at the time for me. And I often really think of money as this, like, how do I put it? Like, it's a thing that feels like it controls everything. It controls us how we feel. We get stressed over it, anxiety over it, we get restless over it. We're constantly out there in the world trying to get more of it to survive, to live, to keep a roof over our head, basic living expenses, etc. But it's like, at the same time, why do we have to feel all this? Who told us that we have to feel all this towards it? Like, where did that come from? And I know this may sound preachy or philosophical or whatever, but it's realistically, why is it that when we hear money, what do we feel? Like, what do you guys feel? What do you guys think? How do you envision it? Now, the outside world is always going to have its influence, but it's like, it is our own story to create around it differently. Should we choose to do that? But it's like, where did this story come from? Why do we have to feel all these things about it? And money is everywhere if you think about it. It's in the car you drive, the apartment or home you live in, the groceries in your fridge, the electricity you use, all these different things. So again, I ask myself these questions because it's not all just about, hey, the spend, the invest, the finance 101 stuff. It's, to me, I think about it as like in the Matrix or in Star Wars. I know those are funny analogies to use, but in the movie The Matrix, they say the Matrix is all around you all the time. Same thing in Star Wars, the Force is all around you all the time. It's an energy. We are energy. We have an energy around us that's either positive or negative. It's glowing or it's not. And so I see that as money sometimes. It is an energy. Now, yes, it's a transactional thing. It's something that can grow. It's something you spend, all these elements to it. But what is money really? It's like I guess, an idea or a concept. Like, what happens when you go to the bank and make a deposit? It suddenly shows up on your screen as a number. And then if you have direct deposit, it's from one screen to another. It's the code or whatever that's being used to transfer to your bank account. It just shows a number. And then when you have bills to pay, what happens? The number gets lower. Yet so much of our life, of our nervous system, of our belief, of our feeling about it, changes based on it going up, going down, going up, going down. It's simply dictated by that. So I really encourage people to ask themselves, when you hear the word money, what do you really feel? When you say it out loud, or even when you think about it, what do you really feel? What does it make you think? What does it make you believe in? And is it true or is it false? Is it something that you heard and it just became part of your story and all that? Or is it something that you just created on your own? And sometimes I look around my apartment and I'm thinking, if I look at what I have, and I visualize that everything I have, including subscriptions and stuff like that, it's like I'm seeing money just go. That's what it's doing all the time. Everything in life is dictated one way or the other by money. And it's like the car you drive, the kind of clothes you have, the apartment you can afford, the house you can afford, the type of food you can afford, the type of phone you have. All these things are byproducts of what money is able to give you. But then how do you get more of it? How do you bring more of that into your life? Again, you have to have the energy of welcoming it. But a lot of times we don't necessarily maybe look at it that way, or we think other people do things to attract money in different ways than we do that can be negative or positive. Like somebody manipulated, or people are use other means that aren't the best. So it's like, sit with those thoughts. How is it that other people have more of it than some others do? Are they really that much more intelligent, educated? Are they just around different kind of people? Or have people had to learn to train themselves to grow in themselves, to do the work internally, to look at money in a different way? And instead of even maybe looking at it as, I gotta have more money so I can have so much stuff and things that, materialistic things, what about energetically in a positive way? To want to use it to do good things in life. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of it because they also give. And that is energy. Because the more you give, the more you receive, because you're doing something positive with it. It's like even people who are investors, they can lose money, but they also make it. Because why? Because they're in a different relationship energetically with it, and so they keep making more because they know how to grow it, they respect it, they understand it, and they see how it works. So again, it might be a helpful thing to, depending on how it works for you, whether to think about it, to say it out loud, to write on a piece of paper, what is the feeling with you and money? What is that story you have with it? How do you perceive it? How is it in your world? When someone offers you a little extra, or says, hey, I want to give you money for gas or something, what is your first reaction? Do you normally say, no, it's okay, it's okay? Which is understandable. We all want to be humble in that sense. But at the same time, what we do in that moment is we're not openly welcoming money into us. We're telling it, no, we don't want it. Realistically, it is a humble thing to say, no, thank you. You want to do whatever you did as a service, as a gesture, right? You want to be a good neighbor or family member or friend, whatever. But at the same time, think about it. You're also rejecting money from coming into your life. It's wanting to come to you. Now, those things may not mean a lot to everybody, but has that ever happened? And you notice eventually no one keeps wanting to give those donations anymore and give you that because you just kept saying no. Means there's a meaning behind that, right? There's meaning behind the words, the acceptance, the abundance, the approach we have to it. It's okay to want more. It's okay to work for more. It's okay that we want to welcome more of it into our lives for good reasons, or to give ourselves a better life so that we and ourselves grow with it. It adds abundance to us in many ways, and we are able to give more to life. That's the whole element of, or that's the whole like aspect of, hey, I'm going to invest in myself, using money to invest, to work with somebody, to get elevated to the next level. And that's going to make me grow as a person, whereas I'm going to give back to society. I'm going to give back to others. I've invested so much into myself in the past 10 years that it's helped me give so much and grow as a person. That's an energy. Like back in December, I went to a book writing workshop. I invested into myself to learn how to do this new process of writing a book, because the book is going to be a tool and a guide and my gift to the world to help people. So you see how that works? Just, I'm using it in a good way. So these are things to think about. And again, I know most times when it comes to finance, we look at it from a very strategic way. How do loans work? How does credit work? Mortgages, interest rates, budgeting, spending, bill, like we look at all those elements. Those are all things that are part of life. But then there's also the energetic part of it. The looking deeper into the meaning we have within us when it comes to money. And it's just things to consider. It may not be for everyone to think of it that way, but I know there's others out there who also consider that and think of it. And maybe you're thinking, am I the only one that's thinking of it this way? Is it weird? But sometimes we have to change our perspective on how we look at something to learn something new about it, to maybe see in a different light. So I just encourage everyone to just be open to those different curiosities, to those different views, questions. It could be something that separates you from everyone. It could be something that makes a massive difference in your life. You never know. That one little shift can do a lot. So thank you guys for tuning in. And remember to tune in every week. Subscribe to my channel. Keep catching me on all the platforms, Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And I look forward to being back next week again. And hope you guys have a good and beautiful week. Take care.